You know how your phone unlocks with just a glance, or how some cars can literally drive themselves? It feels like straight up magic, right? Well, it's not. It's something called deep learning. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it all works.
I mean, seriously, have you ever just stopped and wondered, how does any of that actually work? It really does feel like we're living in the future. But the secret behind it all, it's an idea that's, well, surprisingly intuitive.
Yep, that's right. To build machines that could actually learn, the pioneers of AI looked to the most complex and powerful learning machine we know of, our very own brain.
All right, so to really understand deep learning, we've got to start small. We're talking about the single building block that's inspired by the very neurons firing away inside our heads.
Okay, so at the very heart of deep learning, you'll find something called a neural network. Now, you can basically think of it as this big web of artificial neurons, all connected to each other. Their whole job is to sift through data, spot patterns, and make decisions. Kind of like our brains do, but, on a computer chip.
But let's be real. How close is that comparison, really? Well, a biological neuron, it's super complex, right? You've got dendrites and axons sending all these signals. The artificial version is basically a simplified model of that whole process. It takes in some data, it decides how important that data is, and then it passes on a result. It's not a perfect one-to-one copy, but it absolutely captures the spirit of the real thing.
Thing is, a single one of these artificial neurons isn't all that powerful by itself. Nope. The real magic, that happens when you connect thousands or even millions of them together into a network. So let's take a look at how that's structured.
The easiest way to think about it is like an assembly line. First up, you've got the input layer. That's where all the raw materials get dropped off, say the pixels from an image. Then you have the hidden layers. These are the workstations where all the real heavy lifting and analysis goes down. And finally, you get to the output layer. This is where the finished product comes out, a final decision like cat or dog.
And right here, this is the key to everything. See, a network with just one of those hidden layers, that's what we'd call a shallow network. But when you start stacking more and more of those hidden layers on top of each other, well, that's when a network becomes deep. And honestly, that's all deep learning really means. It's just a neural network with lots and lots of layers. And that depth, that's its superpower.
Okay, so we've got this deep network, but how does it actually learn anything? I mean, it's not like old school programming where you have to write code for every single little rule. Nope, this is all about learning from its own mistakes.
Let's make this a bit more concrete. We'll use a simple example that I'm pretty sure we all deal with every day, teaching a machine how to spot a spam email. So the way it learns is basically this three-step loop that gets repeated over and over, like millions of times. First, there's something called forward propagation. All that means is the network makes a guess. Then it does a loss calculation, which is just a fancy way of saying it checks how wrong its guess was. And finally, the most important part, backpropagation. This is the real learning. It sends a correction signal all the way back through the network, telling each and every neuron how to adjust just a tiny bit so it can do better next time. So really, it's just guess, check, and correct. All right, let's actually see this in action. Imagine our network gets an email. The input layer immediately picks up on certain keywords, like free and offer, words that are super common in spam. So that info flows through all the layers of the network, and out the other side, it spits out a guess. In this case, let's say it gives a score of 0.636. Now, we've already told the system that anything over 0.5 is probably spam. So it makes the call, yep, this is spam.
But, and this is the most important part, what if it was wrong? What if that email is actually something important? Well, the network gets told, nope, wrong answer. And that's when backpropagation kicks in. It traces that error all the way back and tweaks all those internal connections. Now just imagine that process happening not once, but millions of times, with millions of different emails. Little by little, the network gets smarter and smarter at figuring out what really makes an email spam.
Okay, so we've established that deep just means more layers. But why is that so powerful? What's the big deal? Well, let's get into what is, for my money, the coolest part of this whole thing.
And it's a totally fair question, right? I mean, why not just make one single hidden layer that's just massive? The answer has everything to do with how these layers work together. The secret here is that the layers work like a team. They build on each other's work, almost like you're building with Legos. The first few layers are just finding the simple little pieces, the one-by-one bricks. But the layers after that, they start using those simple bricks to build something much more interesting. Facial recognition is the absolute perfect example of this. Think about it. The very first layer, it doesn't see a face at all. It just sees basic stuff, like simple edges and patches of color. The next layer up takes those edges and starts forming simple shapes and textures. Then the layer after that combines those shapes to identify things like an eye, or a nose, or a mouth. And it's only at the very, very end that the final layer puts it all together to say, aha, that's a face. This incredible step-by-step process, this hierarchy, that's what gives deep learning its amazing power.
And look, this isn't just some theory that lives in our research lab. This technology is already all around us. It's woven into the apps and the services we use every single day, whether you realize it or not.
Take computer vision, for example. Specialized networks called CNNs act like the eyes of an AI, and they power everything from tagging your friends in photos to helping cars drive themselves. And what about language? Well, models called transformers, which are absolute masters at understanding context, are what enable the real-time translation and the chatbots we talk to. And in really critical fields like healthcare, it's helping doctors spot diseases in medical scans with, frankly, superhuman accuracy.
But there's a fascinating trade-off here. For all of their incredible power, deep learning models come with a pretty big challenge. They can make these amazingly accurate predictions, but because their internal logic is just so incredibly complex, they often become what we call a black box. We can see the answer it gives us, but we can't always understand why it gave us that particular answer.
And that really leaves us with a huge question for the future. As these digital brains get smarter and smarter, the challenge isn't just going to be making them more powerful. It's going to be making them understandable. How can we make sure we actually understand their thoughts?